Hello, 7 Motorsport here. Well, the Christmas and New Year break is over, so that means it's time for the next online racing leagues race, and this time it's time for the Touring Cars Championship at Brands Hatch. And this is the first of 3 races we did, and the second and third I will be uploading later this weekend. And as we are about to start the race, I kind of messed up the start a little bit. I guess it was the nerves that got me. So I dropped back from 7th to 11th position. And as you might have noticed, the tires, especially the rear tires, aren't exactly warmed up yet, so it's time to be really careful, especially in the first turn a minute ago or so. So not the greatest start of the race for me, but there are going to be, well, let's say, moments that would make this race quite interesting. Coming up to the long straight here, and I'm in 11th position behind TAS Conspiracy, and you'll be seeing more of him as well as his teammate TAS Kamikaze. And as the 2 guys in front of me are fighting for position, I'm getting closer, at least trying to, but trying to find a way past on this track, that's quite hard. But as I say this, someone went off the track, and that would give me 10th position right behind Conspiracy. And of course that would be tricky to hold on to, as all of these guys are really fast drivers. And also, you might have noticed that you are not seeing any of my teammates. Well, that's because this is the B lobby, and my teammates did an excellent job of qualifying into the A lobby. And I think my own qualifying time was about half a second below the cutoff time. But anyway, back to the race, and in the beginning of lap 3 I'm still in 10th position, but the guy behind me is really looking hard to get past me, so that would be, well, I would have to try and keep him behind me, obviously. And this corner right here, that's a darn tough one. I didn't exactly get it quite right. I was a little slow compared to the other drivers in that turn. And as we are about to approach the second right-hander after that nasty turn I told you about, someone else has gone off, and that would give me 9th position. But the same guy I mentioned earlier, I think his name is Connor, I can't actually read his name or any of the names while editing, but anyway, he is still really close behind, so I would really have to try and hold him behind me. But that's easier said than done, as he went for an attempt to go around the outside in turn 1, and going through the second turn of lap 4, he is still right on my tail as we go through the third turn, and he is still close behind me, so anything can happen at this point. And this left-hander right here, I'm actually used to take a wider line, as Connor manages to pass me around my outside. But anyway, like I said, I'm used to taking a wider line in practice, but if I were to do that during the race, then yeah, people would just pass me on my inside, I suppose. Anyway, as we're about halfway through lap 4, I now find myself in 10th position with Golfman Turbo right behind me. And remember that name, Golfman Turbo, as you will be seeing more of him in the video of the second race. Spoiler alert. Well, obviously I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say we had a little bit of a battle throughout a big chunk of the second race. Let's just keep it at that, and the rest you will just have to see probably tomorrow. But anyway, in this first race he managed to pass me, dropping myself back to 11th. So just about halfway through the race, and now I have Tas Kamikaze right behind me. Well, not right behind me, but he is behind me. Meanwhile, Golfman Turbo in 10th, he has bucketed off into the distance somewhat, as he is quite fast, and so are most, if not all, of the other drivers. But the driver behind me, Tas Kamikaze, that's the one I have to, well, not exactly worry, but I'm sure you get the picture. I would have to try to defend my position from him, as I'm not likely to catch up to 10th unless he finds himself in a battle for position and thus slowing himself down. Anyway, the beginning of lap 6, as I'm still in 11th position, and as it turned out I would indeed not catch up to Golfman Turbo, but I would catch up to Tas Conspiracy, who had a little bit of a off-track moment, thus putting me back into 10th position. So that would mean I would not only have to try to fight off Tas Kamikaze, I would also have to do the same with his teammate Conspiracy, who at this moment has passed Kamikaze and is now right behind me. But at the moment he is not close enough to attempt an overtake into this turn, as doing so in that turn right here, that would be really difficult, and I don't think anyone would try such a maneuver. But I think I just saw Conspiracy go off track, and that would mean Kamikaze is now right behind me, attempting an overtake around the outside of this corner. But although he did not succeed earlier, he is now alongside me, and that would give him the inside of this corner. But at this point I'm attempting to do a cutback, but I'm a little too far behind. But as we enter lap 7, he brakes really hard, enabling me to get past him again. So now I am back into 10th position. And although I messed up the start, losing 3 positions after starting in 7th position, I'd say that so far the race is going, well, it's going pretty well. And for the first time I'm able to take my preferred line in this corner right here, and coming up to the long straight, Kamikaze is at the moment too far behind to attempt any kind of overtake, and Kamikaze would not be able to get close enough to attempt an overtake for just about a full lap. So that is why we now skip ahead to the beginning of lap 8. So, like I said, skipping ahead to turn 2 in lap 8 as Kamikaze is now again right behind me, and in the distance there has been an accident. Two drivers went off track and that would slow me down a bit, enabling Kamikaze to get past me. So that would bring me down to 11th position as we are entering the long straight again for the 8th time. And behind me in 12th position is TOS Conspiracy, but for the moment he is still quite far behind, so I would not have to worry about him just yet. But Kamikaze, who managed to pass me earlier, went off track and that really slowed him down, so that would give me 10th position back. But although his little excursion into the dirt has slowed him down a bit, enabling me to get past, he would remain close behind while attempting to overtake. However, this time I would have the inside of the final turn. But at the last moment, at the start-finish straight, he managed to pass me anyway on the inside and I would drop back to 11th once again. And while exiting the first corner, I tried to get alongside him on his inside into the second turn, but I was just too far behind and I would remain in 11th position. Meanwhile, his teammate Conspiracy was getting closer, but for the moment he was not close enough yet, and again I was able to take my preferred line coming up to the long straight. And it was my hope that taking my preferred line would enable me to get closer to Kamikaze, but unfortunately that was not the case, and throughout the rest of lap 9 I would attempt to get closer to him, but unfortunately he was just a little bit too fast for me. And while I was busy trying to catch up to Kamikaze, Conspiracy was getting really close now. In fact, you can see the proximity indicator right now, as he is now right on top of me. And as we are about to start the second to last lap, Conspiracy would take a dive on my inside, but there was just not enough room for him, and while we did make contact, we were able to continue without problems. Skipping ahead to the end of the long straight, Conspiracy is attempting an overtake around my outside, and unfortunately we make contact and that would almost spin me out, but luckily, this being front wheel drive cars, I was able to correct it. But that did mean, however, I was no longer able to make his life difficult, as we say. And from this point on I would be on my own, so nothing of interest really happened. So that's why we now skip ahead to the end of the race. So here we are at the end of the race, finishing in 12th after starting in 7th. And although I would have liked to get a better finishing position, it was a good race. However, spoiler alert, race 2 and race 3 were a lot better than this one, so you can expect those in the coming days. Anyway, that's it for me for today. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe for more. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.